a quite slow pace. So let's get these in and get them. Oh, look at that, they want me to invade. Let's transport them. Wait a second, let's get them here. Okay, go there, rebase. He's still transporting. I can't suspect these divisions are lost. Could be that they are all lost. That's what we get for from our generals, who never got out our troops out of this pocket. Okay, 2 divisions will get out. Will more get out? Even Italians got trapped here. That's so bad. You can get only 2 at a time. Transport them there. They already got into battle, but just not yet. Okay, so these are our divisions. Question. 2 more can go. Oh no, that's it. They have been annihilated in this pocket right here. Only a few lucky ones escaped. So that's the thing. And they can now further join the fight, the surviving ones. Oh well, oh well. Approximately maybe 5 divisions have wiped out here. There's still 1 left though, in this area, so we'll make sure they get out safely. Hopefully. They need to cross the channel, they need to ferry through the channel. Many divisions will be surrounded and annihilated here. Let's go into the navy and get the hell out of here now. Rebase. Alright. Okay, there's nobody left. We lost quite a bit, but it's not a complete disaster. We're marching through North Africa. We're connecting with South Africa. The situation looks very good. Portugal is with us. Portugal is in South Africa. I see why they would want to be with us. It looks like after we conquer North Africa, we'll just have to kind of focus on the Soviets even further. Saudi Arabia, or now, yeah, Saudi Arabia will fall. First they join the Axis, then the Allies, and now they will be punished for that. Here we see that this front is very good for us. There are gaps left. The Japanese are just fighting beautifully, to say the least. They are invading the Soviet Union with a massive force. They're invading India, and this is just absolutely amazing. Even the United Kingdom is at over 30% surrender. Communist Russia is at 40% surrender. And we are where we normally are on the Eastern Front. However, on this Turkey, north of Turkey front, or Stalingrad front, things are looking very different. Crimea somewhat stayed. They never really attacked Crimea that effectively. However, they want to attack us here. Lithuania, they are drifting towards the Axis, but they're still not an Axis member. Okay, it looks like they want to stay out of war. Maybe they still believe that Soviets can prevail. However, now I think it's safe to join Axis, or at least it has never been so safe to join Axis as it is now, because the Japanese are hitting the Soviets from the back with a very powerful thrust. And here we have opened another front, a front that is very well supplied and things are not looking bad. However, in Crimea, undoubtedly these will be lost. Undoubtedly. We can't supply these with ships, which is a bit weird. I think we should be able to supply them with ships. Okay. Another year has passed, and we are making progress. However, I think too much emphasis is being put on North Africa, really. Or South Africa. You see, South Africa is fighting the Axis powers also, so the Italians, they are going to stay for a bit. Here, United Kingdom is in control. So in Africa itself, there are going to be quite a bit of fighting going on. So what we need here is just a stable front. We need this front right here, north of Turkey, to advance even further, to kind of be the spearhead. And we need the Japanese to attack the Soviets on a very wide and powerful front. Exactly what's happening here. However, unfortunately for us, the Soviets do have the capability to man this massive front. Hopefully, after losing India, which is obviously a distant possibility, because in India the British don't really have that many troops as, for example, the Soviets in their East territories. So after Japan takes on India, they will probably descend on the Soviets with even more power. Yugoslavia next, Iraq, which is now part of the country. Oh wow, look at that. We've got ourselves a holiday destination. It looks like we've gained a bit land from the Hungary, and we've got ourselves a holiday destination. An Islamic Yugoslavia. Islamic Yugoslavia, that's probably how I would call it. Because people would probably still be pro-Islam here. Now, in North Africa, we're just crushing the British with our numbers. We have in total 14 divisions fighting here. And not soon, but eventually we will be able to link up. Now, the Spanish are having big problems fighting the British. The British have tanks here. And there are Americans here also, I guess. Yeah. So Americans are here also. As you can see, American flag on the right. But this steamroller right here, a couple of armies, will undoubtedly be able to link up eventually, and then those troops will become available. Here on this front we are making a very good advance. Looks like supply situation is stabilizing. The Soviets got very close to this border right here, Romanian border. Crimea is still alive. Not sure how, but looks like the Soviets didn't want it to go in. We are approaching Stalingrad bit by bit. Things are not looking bad at all. Wonder how the Soviets look like. So their IC increased even further. They're building all kinds of infrastructure buildings, radars, more industry. They completely ran out of oil and fuel. And the fighting continues. Here we can also see how the Japanese are invading India. Slowly but surely they are moving forward. Look how this front is consistently moving forward, that's good to know. I wonder how long it would take for the Japanese to link up with the Axis. Somewhere in Afghanistan maybe. New military academies come online. A major battle place on the seas. 2 major ships for USA has been lost. Here we see Romanians fighting the British, Turkish, Nazis also. The Soviet allies are bringing in tanks. These are probably expeditionary Soviet forces there. The Japanese are expanding. Portuguese even landed on the shores in India, surprisingly enough. It looks like finally the Japanese are meeting no resistance on some front areas with the Soviet Union. Here we see that these are the only Soviet troops, I suspect. However, travel distances here are huge. And Saudi Arabia will most likely fall, but not soon. They're very strong yet. Oman is pro-allies. Yemen is pro-ally also, so everything here will have to be annihilated. It looks like this area is being dominated by Italy, but there's a lot less troops than there usually were. In any case, let's see how the front moves. On Eastern Front, as always, it's very steady. But here, on Stalingrad front, we are making advance. It looks like from that occupied Crimea another bridgehead has been developed. Surprisingly. I wonder. Now here we see gaps in the front, which is good. Hopefully our troops won't overextend. Our national unity has never been so high. All indicators are leading to consistent increase. So it advanced towards the Romanian border is being reduced greatly. So, on the other hand, Soviets have never had such a massive industry as they're having now, and hopefully they're going to invest much of that industry into infrastructure, so that make things easier for both sides, obviously. In any case, everybody already knows after so many years of fighting that how to fight on the Eastern Front here on the European side, but nobody really knows how to fight here on the Stalingrad front. And it looks like Axis is moving forward more decisively than Soviets. Here we see in North Africa steady advance. Here many British waiting, so they'll need to set up powerful force to take these British out. The Spanish are not being defeated by the British, and it looks like they are leaving this area, probably to stop Italian advance, maybe. Here in South Africa, Italians are advancing very successfully. It's probably only a matter of time until they will take everything out there for themselves. It seems to me that the Soviets are abandoning this Stalingrad front, or allowing Axis to extend, because these forces here are barely having any resistance. On the other hand, the Eastern Front on the Axis side is much weaker. Okay. Just need to wait further. Now I see that the Soviets are making spearheads here. We'll see if this will work out well for them. Now this front here would start extending to unseen levels. Besides, this area is very much being under control. It looks like Turkey is becoming the old Ottoman Empire. And British are stopping the advance right here. Turkish advance right there. You can also take a look at this front. Now look at that, look at that. The British have sent all their forces here to stop the Japanese, and they manned the Indian front to the province right here. Truly significant achievement, but I kinda suspect that the Japanese are just too numerous here. But not everywhere they're winning, not everywhere. Obviously the Japanese are overextended also, but for as long as the Soviets are unable to fight effectively, it should be just fine. Looks like they're gonna go so far as to the tip of Soviet Russia. to the very tip in the east. These Arctic forests, probably. So, a good example of how hard it is to defeat Soviet Union. And here it looks like an advance is taking place. However, on some regions, Axis can't win. Oh well. I wonder if North Africa falls. The British are holding it quite firm anyway. So the only movement that I'm expecting to go forward is here, the Stalingrad front. Here they have a lot of supply. Here it looks like the British are holding, but for some reason their forces are retreating. On the other hand, the Spanish are successfully moving forward. Maybe the British are diverting their forces to India. They're hoping that this theater must be secured much greater. To a much greater extent than any other theater. Here, I like to see the advance here. This is huge. And look at that, we're fighting the Soviets here. Turkish, Romanians, more Turkish, more Romanian troops are fighting the Russians here, so the Russians would have to divert their forces there. Also, and our Stalingrad front isn't nearly as effective as it used to be. It looks like we're even suffering defeats here. Not sure why. Some of the divisions, brigades I mean, got shattered. But all in all, there is abundance of supply. Here, as always, the Soviets are prevailing on that side. But the fighting keeps on. We need the Japanese to win India and divert their troops elsewhere, hopefully fighting the Soviet Union. If we could fight the Soviet Union under the beast's belly, then the Soviets would certainly be overextended. Let's have a closer look at the Eastern Front. See how the divisions look like. It looks like they're not as numerous, just as I expected, but on both sides they're not. Okay, that's fine. In here the divisions are not, whereas also. I mean, in one province there's not like 5 or 10 divisions as there are quite often. In any case, as you can see here, the Soviets are advancing. Your Highness, we can report that Liberia has been liberated by the USA, the government has been restored to Monrovia, and they are no longer in exile. Okay, that's fine. That's fine with me. Certainly. It's 1949 March, and war is still not won. The Soviets fighting on a very extended front. The British are losing India. East Europe is fighting the same battles over and over again. The Stalingrad front, it looks like it reached its peak, and now it's very much like the Eastern Europe front is moving back and forth by a little bit. North Africa is being dominated by Italy and Spain. South Africa is certainly dominated by Italy. Obviously not a theater that I want to see being used with many divisions, but it's good for the Italians. Obviously if the war ends in Axis favor, the Italians will have maybe 40 or 30% of entire Africa for themselves. What the Axis powers in Europe rely upon, they rely upon the Japanese to extend the Soviet front so badly that the Soviets could just simply be squeezed from multiple sides, as you can see, just like that. The fighting in India is taking so long, however the Japanese did prevail. British are on the retreat, and here we see this Ottoman Empire like Turkey consistently moving its forces inland. And look at that, look at these divisions. These are certainly divisions that are coming from the Western Front, from the Soviet Western Front. So this is exactly what we want to see. We want to see these troop movements towards east by the Soviets. Exactly. Things are looking awesome. We're consistently upgrading. Leningrad is very strongly on our hands. Once again, the Soviets are pushing towards Romanian border, but we're holding it firm. Mostly garrison divisions are in Nazi Germany, which is exactly what we want to see. We want to see as many troops as possible. In the front line here, we see Tunis. It's currently being held by the British, but it looks like most of the British forces here have been dealt with, and it's going to be a race between the Italians and the Spanish on who will hold the city of Tunis and its ports. It looks like the British and Americans have simply been defeated here. Government nationalizes private sector, fine. And these are very interesting. These distances are huge. Probably takes a month to travel these. In India, I would say that larger areas have been taken now, so these Japanese troops just need to move forward. I really like this advance right here, as I mentioned before. If these could kind of connect, that the Japanese will soon start to pour in. See, this area was completely insecure, but the Soviets are pouring in additional divisions here consistently, many divisions, to kind of hold this advance. And we obviously want to see Soviets fighting through the entire border, and here you can see the Japanese are just moving in. Many divisions are here fighting for this Indian area, British held Indian territory. Furthermore, the Japanese even landed in Australia, which I would say was a long shot, obviously. But at least they tried it. Successful invasion. Here, Soviet troops fighting the Japanese, and it looks awesome. Oh wow, more Axis troops descending, including us. Look at that. These are our occupied troops, occupied by us. It looks like our country may be much larger than anticipated. It looks like we've got ourselves on access to the sea, so our residents will be able to travel here with ease. How amazing is that? We're going to land, we're going to own desert. We're going to own desert and everything that comes with it, and all the sand that comes with it. So Islamic Yugoslavia is there. Now what we need to do here, I think, we need to hold this area, Eastern Front, Stalingrad Front, and we need to hope that the Japanese and other forces fighting in south of Russia, that's the Far East Russia, could divert too many divisions from the Western Front, from the Soviets' Western Front to the east, and then eventually we should be able to drive them back. You can see there are many tanks. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. And there are many Finnish divisions here, but these are mostly Nazi divisions under Finnish command. We need to take care of these. When these move into the Soviet Union, things may be even better for everybody. But due to supply shortages, this isn't really working out. Now currently, as you can see, the supply is really good. It's May 1949. Supply situation isn't that bad at all. So let's keep fighting.